What's up guys, PTC aka WeAreTheTrend back with a new video today, and it will be another sneaker story because I know you guys really like these. So today's sneaker story will be on the Air Jordan 11 Concords. So we all know the Concords as kind of like the shoe that changed the whole sneaker game in a way, which it pretty much did. And we all know the chaos that ensued with this release. So I'm going to kind of tell a little bit of my story that had a little bit of chaos, but not as bad as some other places that I've seen. So the Concord came out in 2011, December 23rd, I believe. And to be honest, I didn't really want them. I don't really know why. It wasn't like a must cop for me. But I had a friend that really wanted them, so he was at the mall. They were giving out tickets at Champs. You just had sizes, you wrote your name on it, but you had to sit there the whole day pretty much until they released. So me and my girlfriend went to the mall just kind of to look around. I was like, oh yeah, my friend's here, let's go see what he's doing in Champs or whatever. So I walk into Champs, he's just sitting there. They all have to sit in like lawn chairs. There's a bunch of people just in the store sitting there, and it was like, I want to say like 3 o'clock, and he was there since like the morning, and he had to wait until 12 midnight when that's when they actually released shoes at one point, and then they stopped doing it because of this pretty much. So we were just talking to him and stuff, and he was like, dude, they have more tickets. And I was like, what? How do they have more tickets? So I went up to the guy, I was like, do you have an 11? And he was like, yeah man, what's your name? Then he writes your name down and he gives you a ticket that says your name, your size and everything. Mind you, nowadays that'd be unheard of. There's no way you would just walk in and be like, oh, there's an extra ticket. Because the hype is far too real right now, and I think we all know that. So I got the ticket and we started waiting and everything, but then I remembered that my girlfriend was with me and she doesn't drive, even though she's older than me. I think I mentioned that before. And she had to work that night, so I was her ride to work. And when they give you the tickets, you can't leave. You have to stay there in order to keep your pair, otherwise they can give a ticket to somebody else. So I was like, oh man, that's not good. So I went up to the employee that worked there and I just asked him, I was like, dude, I have to take my girlfriend to work. Is there any way that you can just kind of like hold my spot for me? I really won't be that long. And he was like, I don't care man, but it's really up to the people that are waiting for him. So he asked the people that were waiting for the shoes, like including my friend, if it was cool if I just went and came back. And this wouldn't happen either like nowadays, but they were all just like, yeah, that's cool, because people were cool back then. Now it's all about money and hype. So me and my girlfriend left the mall and I went to take her to work, and there's a bank conveniently located right next to her work, so I picked up some money. And I also remembered that I was her like ride to pick her up too, so I was like, no. I had to like chill at home and everything. I had my friend texting me like, where are you? So I told him, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be like a little bit longer, but I'm gonna bring you guys some pizza. Because at the time my girlfriend was working at a pizza place, so I had her get some pizza when I picked her up, like a pie or two. And so she was finally done work, picked her up, got the pizza, and we went back to the mall. And all the dudes were like real cool. I gave them the pizza, like they said thank you and everything, and I was like, no, thank you guys for holding my spot. Like I said, this stuff now is like unheard of to happen because it's just really not the same anymore. This release definitely changed things in a good way and a bad way. So now that we were back at the mall, it was really just a waiting game until midnight. But the cool thing was that the Champs, I think, was open till like 10 or 11. But the people who had the tickets and were waiting in line, they let you stay in the store even when they were closed. So I think they closed at 11 and they pulled the gate down, and this was like the coolest thing ever. He actually brought out all the pairs and everybody was allowed to like check out their shoes, try them on, and like, you know, like mess around with the shoes and stuff before midnight. Also unheard of. So we're all just in this closed Champs just checking out our shoes, and you have like the mean muggers outside of the gate just like staring at you, and you knew like when you left it was gonna be pretty crazy. So my girlfriend was actually kind of scared because everyone just kept looking in the gate, like trying to like see who they can pick off. And the crazy thing is I actually could have gotten 2 pairs because I think they had like a 13 or something left, so my girlfriend easily could have gotten that. Back then your mind really wasn't programmed for resale like most people's are now. And I remember when the store manager came out, he had like every box in his hands, like trying to like juggle them all. And somebody was like, don't drop them. And he was like, if I drop them, you all get your pairs for free. So we were all hoping he would drop them, but he didn't, unfortunately. So midnight came and he started selling all the shoes. Of course, you had those people who were like, oh, I'm waiting on payment to come in and get in my checking account. So you had to wait for those people to get out of the way so you can get out of the store and buy your stuff. So I bought my shoe and my friend bought his shoe and we both left together with my girlfriend, of course. I didn't just leave her there. And right as they opened the gate for us, the mall alarm started going off, like their fire alarm thing. And I was like, what the hell? Like, and apparently the mall alarm went off because the Foot Locker, they had a House of Hoops like down the hall. I was at the Champs, which was like a little more low key. But the Foot Locker down the hall was like bananas, like lines around the whole mall and stuff, which was weird because they could have easily walked into Champs just like I did. But there was just like a crazy line, and apparently some kid pulled the fire alarm just because he wasn't like first in line or whatever. So we're like running to find an exit with the alarm going off. It's like this big chaotic like scene going on. Then we open the door for outside of the mall and it's downpouring, like literally downpouring. Like the hardest rain I've ever seen. And we're just like, ugh. So we just kind of like brace ourselves and just everyone looks at each other and we just start running. Like running towards my car, and immediately just threw the bags in the trunk, got in the car, and that was it. I mean, if it wasn't raining that night, I guarantee you there'd be people out there just ready to pick off people and steal their pairs. So I just drove home, dropped my girlfriend off, and I just went to sleep, dude, because it was a pretty crazy night. And then the next morning, actually, it was all over the news about these shoes and stuff like that, and I had family over, and we're all just watching the news, like listening to like these horror stories of people like trampling each other, trying to kill each other, fighting over these shoes. And then I was like, I have those shoes. And they're like, what? So I went upstairs, bring them down. They're like giving me like that weird look, like, you got those? And I was like, yep, I got them. Even though my family doesn't care about shoes. But overall, pretty damn crazy release. And actually the night after the release, I went out to dinner and I was gonna wear them to dinner. But I changed my mind like last second and I wore my Nike SB Chun-Li's. And the server came and was like giving my mom and dad and their friends beers and everything. So she put the tray on the table and she had the tray like halfway on the table, and there was 4 beers, and she took the 2 beers that were on the table off first, like an idiot. So then the other half just like flipped over and beer spill everywhere. It got all over my Chun-Li's, and I just was like, oh my god, thank god I was not wearing the brand new Concords I just got. So yeah, shout out to the dummy waitress that did that. Alright guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Sneaker Stories. I know a lot of you guys really like this series, so I'm going to try to keep pushing more of them. I have a ton of videos in the works right now, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, for the people who have questions for me a lot of the times, I actually made a Kick, which is pretty much like an instant message type thing. It's like a way that I can talk to you guys without giving everybody my phone number. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to hit me up on that. The @ name is PTC, just PTC twice, because somebody took WeAreTheTrend. So if anybody hits you up with that, don't answer them because it's not me. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you guys followed me on Instagram and Twitter. My @ name is WeAreTheTrend, so follow me on there. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe for more. And as always, thank you guys for watching.